Hello everybody and welcome to Omnipoke, the channel that brings you guys everything Pokemon. I'm Jack and today I'm here with another deck analysis for you guys. This time it's going to be on Rainbow Road or Rainbow Force Xerneas, the other Xerneas deck in the format other than sort of Xerneas Giratina. And yeah, I think this deck has real potential at the moment. It's one of the best non-EX attackers, I suppose, but non-EX decks in our format, I think, in my opinion. I've been testing it this week a little bit and tested it a lot last weekend. While I was at Joe's, and I really enjoyed playing the deck. It can stand up to these mega decks with huge HP, and it can overcome sort of smaller normal EX decks and non-EX decks just through doing huge damage with Rainbow Force really quickly. It's a pretty aggressive deck, and it's not too expensive. It's not too cheap as well. Has got Shaymins and Hoopas, things like that. But it's not super expensive like Ray that runs 2 Hoopa and 4 Shaymin, things like that. But yeah, let's get into the analysis. I have got a bottle of water with me, so excuse me if I'm drinking throughout the video. But it's something you guys have noted, so I have taken that on board. But we're going to start off indeed with Xerneas himself. 120 HP, Rainbow Force attack is the only attack we're ever going to use. It does have a second attack, Power Creation, which we do have access to, but it's very rarely going to be doing more damage than Rainbow Force. I don't think I've ever used this attack in my time playing the deck, so pretty much ignore this second attack. This first attack does 10 damage plus 30 more damage for each type on your bench, which we are running Skyfield, but without Skyfield we can get a maximum of 7 types on the bench, meaning we're doing 210 plus 10, which is 220, which knocks out things like Mega Ray and Mega Scizor, which are two really good decks, I think, in the format at the moment. So Rainbow Force can compete with these mega decks, even without Skyfield. Then we've got Skyfield in here if we can't quite find our dual types in time. So yeah, I think Xerneas is a really good attacker. Weak to Metal, which isn't great, but pretty much Scizor's going to be knocking it out anyway. So I don't think it's too much of an issue. And resistance to darkness is actually, I think, really useful for the deck. It means that things like your Volcanion-EX have to commit another energy, Darkrai-EX have to find another energy just to be able to knock out this one prize basic, which can be an issue. So yeah, really good attacker, I think. Next up we've got the 2-2 Galvantula line. Starting with the Joltik, the only real thing to note here is free retreat, which actually is useful. It means that we technically have 6 good starters in the deck rather than just the 4. And with the 2 Floatstone as well, we do have a bit more access to pretty much anything. But yeah, having free retreat on this guy means that he's a really good pivot as well. After our opponent's taken a knockout, if we've only got a Joltik on the bench, we can still use him as a pivot. But like I say, once we evolve into Galvantula, we still have Floatstones anyway. Speaking of Galvantula, 90 HP dual type, which is the main reason we're running him. But we also have access to this double thread attack, doing 30 damage to 2 of our opponent's bench Pokemon. This does apply weakness and resistance, which I think is really cool. Whilst we can deal with Mega Ray toe-to-toe, Galvantula is another really nice win condition for us. If we can double thread 2 Shaymins, it kind of means that they're always going to be giving up 2 prizes, because they can never pick up both Shaymins. They can Sky Return 1, and unless they're running some form of healing, which Mega Ray doesn't really ever do, they can't pick up their second Shaymin, so we can always double thread again for a second 60 damage and knock it out. And the other thing with Galvantula is if our opponent promotes Ray to deal with a Galvantula, if we can find our second Galvantula, we can take 4 prizes in a turn because they haven't picked up their Shaymin. So I think Galvantula is a really nice sort of secondary attack in the Ray matchup, but it can be used against anything that benches a lot of Shaymins. I think it's always going to be a potential threat, and it should always be in the back of your mind if your opponent has benched a lot of Shaymins, that could be a win condition for the deck. We don't have access to Electro Reb, excuse me, and 1 retreat is fine. With Floatstones, we often don't worry about retreat anyway. We've got 1 Jirachi. Jirachi primarily serves as our metal type. I'm going to talk a little bit later on about one other Pokemon that we can try that serves as a metal type, but I think Jirachi is the best one at the moment. Stardust can buy us some turns every now and again. If we're not getting the knockout, we can use Stardust instead, and sort of provide a bit of disruption to our opponent. It means that they have to find a way of being able to navigate around the Jirachi and find another special energy, which can be a bit of an issue. Special energy aren't anywhere near as popular as they were back just before rotation, but I think Jirachi still provides excellent value, because I think there are still decks that require their special energy quite consistently. So I think Jirachi is a really, really good one-off. Of course, the other thing is Giratina isn't too much of an issue for the deck because we just run through them, but Jirachi can help there as well if we can't manage. If we're not able to get a Xerneas up, obviously more often than not Xerneas does require DCE. So if we can't manage to get our DCs down because of the Chaos Wheel effect, we can use Jirachi for a turn to slow our opponent down, which I think is a really, really sort of nice little niche use for Jirachi as well. Moving on to the EXs, we are running one Flygon-EX. This is our Dragon type for the deck. A bit of a kooky one. His ability, Voice of the Sands, is basically as long as Flygon's active, it's basically a one-sided escape rope for your opponent. So it can provide some sort of awkward scenarios for your opponent. If they knock out a Pokemon, you can promote Flygon and sort of cause some disruption anyway. Especially if it's got a float stone as well, which is really, really nice. And I think it's definitely one that people won't be expecting, so they won't really sort of tech against. But yeah, primarily it serves as our Dragon type. We don't have access to his attack, so it's here for the 30 damage basically. One Umbreon serves as our Dark type. Again, I'm going to talk about a Dark type later on that we could sub in for Umbreon. But Umbreon, we're using these EXs simply because Hoopa can search them out. So Hoopa basically searches out a bonus 90 damage with himself, that's 30, so 120. Hoopa is basically 120 damage. So that's why we've chosen these EX attackers over non-EX attackers, simply because they're much more searchable, much more accessible, and it really, really helps when setting up the deck. We don't have access to his second attack, unfortunately. I'd love to be able to use an end game at some point, but don't run Dark Energy. But we do have access to Veil of Darkness, 20 damage, and it can hand refresh to an extent if there's certain things you don't need for the matchup. I think it's very rare that you're going to be using this attack, but we do have access to it, which is, I think, at least notable. And I think, it's something that people won't really be expecting, so perhaps it can catch some people off guard if they maybe promote something with only 20 HP left or whatever. It can sometimes help. Volcanion is our Fire and Water type. This is pretty much the first Pokemon you're going to be searching for with Hoopa, simply because he's 60 damage. Oh, it's not even 90 damage, it's technically 120, isn't it, because of Volcanion. So Hoopa himself is actually 150 damage, which is insane. Yeah, we don't have access to pretty much anything other than these two types, but the fact that Volcanion himself is basically a plus power for 60 is insane. So yeah, that's why we're running Volcanion, and there's no better fire or water types, I don't think, really. Because we have access to this dual typing, I think it's really, really important to use that. Finally, as I've been saying, we've got one Hoopa and two Shaymin. Shaymin is obviously our colourless type for the bench, and Hoopa our psychic type. Hoopa searches out, as we've just worked out, 150 damage, which is madness. So yeah, that's basically why we're running Hoopa. I don't think anything else needs to be said about it. And Shaymin, always in here for hand refresh, do have access to Sky Return quickly with DCEs. And yeah, it is worth mentioning in mirror matches to make sure you remember about this Galvantula play. Some people may just sort of willy-nilly play their Shaymins down just for the bonus damage, but they can be punished for it. So make sure you're not one of those people. But yeah, they're the Pokemon. The only other Pokemon that we can really add in my opinion at least, is Bisharp. Unfortunately, I don't own any, but it's the new dual type Bisharp. There it is. We weren't running this. Obviously, it serves as a dual type, meaning that we can go up to 250 damage with a 5 Pokemon bench. Retaliate is a fairly decent attack, 1 for 90 once you've been knocked out, but unfortunately in testing we were never really using the attack. Notably, it can knock out things like Xerneas Break, opposing Rainbow Force Xerneas decks. Can do huge chunks to any other fairy types, things like Mega Gardevoir. But I don't think it has enough value for it to be able to be justified. I don't think me and Joe used the attack once when we were playing it, and there were a couple of other people playing it while we were there, and I don't think I ever heard the word Retaliate used. Obviously it serves as a dual type, which means it can sort of save some bench space, but ultimately Bisharp is probably going to be 4 slots, whereas these two Pokemon here, the Umbreon and Jirachi, are only 2, means that we get two more consistency slots, and I think that's more important, especially when we weren't getting too much value out of Retaliate Bisharp in testing at least. But it is there, it is an option if you do like running the dual types and do want to run another one. So yeah, moving on, onto the trainers. We've got 3 Max Elixir. Ideally we want to be streaming Xerneas as quickly as possible. Sometimes we can struggle doing that, but having 3 Max Elixir and 2 EXP share means that we can try and stream them as quickly as possible, as consistently as possible. Max Elixir I think is really, really good in this format. It's a really, really good form of energy acceleration. And we're only running 8 energy. Why isn't this? I don't know why. I can't scroll down, but we are running 8 fairy energy. So there are a fair amount of targets. Usually in Max Elixir decks, I like to run around 10, but this deck pulls out a lot of Pokemon quickly, goes through a lot of items relatively quickly. It's quite an aggressive playstyle, so more often than not you are going to have a lot of energy compared to the rest of your cards in deck. So it's not too much of an issue that we're only running 8. Next up we've got 1 Super Rod. This is our recovery mechanic. Obviously there's a lot of different types, a lot of different one-off types as well, meaning that this Super Rod can actually net us 90 damage if we're able to search out the Pokemon that we get back. Does provide some sort of energy recovery as well, so it's just all round a really versatile card. It's the only real recovery we've got at the moment, but I think it's also the best recovery we could play in here, just because sometimes you want energy and sometimes you need that sort of bonus damage. Running 1 Switch, just in case we're teened out of playing Float Stones and they try and Lysandre stall us. Having actual copies of Switch is always nice as well, just so you have different options. Maybe you can't attach or maybe you've already attached an EXP share to your active, so you can't attach a Float Stone, things like that. So having an actual copy of Switch as well is really useful. 4 Trainer's Mail, just to be able to draw through the deck quicker. Looking at the top 4 and searching for a trainer is really good. 32 trainers overall is not a low count at all, so we're going to be hitting things pretty much every time, meaning that Trainer's Mail is pretty much always getting value. Other than that, I don't think there's anything else to say about Trainer's Mail really. Same with Ultra Ball. Ultra Ball searches out Hoopa, which searches out 120 damage, so Ultra Ball is 150 damage. That's pretty good. Also discards 2 cards for Shaymin. Yeah, just really, really good search. There's no. I suppose Galvantula is level ball searchable as is Jirachi and Joltik, but yeah, I don't think the deck needs it at all. For VS Seeker, obviously, just being able to pick up those supporters from the discard pile. We are running a single Ninja Boy, and sometimes we want to be able to Ninja Boy for more funsies into different targets. So having multiple copies or 4 copies of VS Seeker just means we've basically got 4 more supporters in here. Our support count is actually relatively low. It's only got 9. A lot of decks lately have been running a few more, but I think 9's a really, really nice number. 2 Lysandre means that we're picking off exactly what we want. Xerneas can knock out anything in a turn, so being able to choose exactly what you want to knock out and know you're going to get the knockout is really, really nice. And again, being able to pick up a Shaymin or do damage to a Shaymin, even if your Galvantula is knocked out, you can Lysandre it up and finish it off with a Xerneas or something like that, which is really, really nice. 2N, the deck can go behind on prizes sometimes. It's like I say, it's a relatively aggressive playstyle, and more often than not you are going ahead in prizes, but sometimes you can drop back 1 or 2. Having Hand Refresh itself is always really, really useful as well. So I think 2N is fine. I don't think the deck needs any more, just because, like I say, it is an aggressive deck, so more often than not you are going to have less prizes than your opponent, so you could actually be hurting yourself. But having access to 2 means that early game we've got them if we need them, and late game we can use them as disruption as and when we need to. 1 Ninja Boy means that basically we don't have a bad starter in the deck if we can find our Ninja Boy. Obviously we've got 6 good starters in the Joltiks and Xerneas, but if we start, say, Volcanion with 3 retreat, it doesn't matter if we can find a Ninja Boy, we can attach, find a Ninja Boy into Xerneas and carry on as if we hadn't started. There's nothing that the deck doesn't find. You're never going to have a Galvantula active unless you're attacking with it, I don't think. So it's not really an issue at all. And I think Ninja Boy really presents itself, or represents itself well in this deck, because it means that you can actually start some of these weirder attackers as well. Like maybe you want to start Umbreon or something instead, and then hop straight into a Xerneas next turn. I think it presents really good opportunities for the deck. We can, with all of these sort of one-off energy attackers as well, it means that we can get out of what the situation we've put ourselves in if we want a Jirachi but then want to move straight into a Xerneas and don't have the energy to attach all in one turn. We need to only find the DCE then. I think you guys know what Ninja Boy does. It's just a really good card. Acts as a switching card as well, like I said with at the start, meaning that we don't really have any bad starters. Also, if we start things like Hoopa and Shaymin as well, means that we can get them back into the deck and use them as they're intended. And then 4 Sycamore, just because Sycamore's still really good. 2 Skyfield. We don't need, the old deck used to run 4, you don't need 4 anymore simply because we've got dual types now. The dual types represent so much damage in themselves, you don't need a full bench of 8 to be able to knock out a Mega, you can do it with 5. That being said, if you can't find your Galvantula or your Volcanion, we do have access to Skyfield still to be able to reach these bigger numbers, which I think is really important. Against Ray, that you're both playing Skyfield, so they can't even get rid. You're not even letting them get rid of their Shaymins, which is really good. Some Ray players have started playing Parallel, which I've noticed online a little bit and tested with a couple of people over the past week or so. If they're running Parallel, then fair play to them. That's a really nice little tech, but that's why we're still running 2 Skyfield of our own against matchups that don't run Skyfield, where we need to extend for that extra damage. And against things like Ray, which even if it does run Skyfield, some people, like I say, are playing Parallel just for things like this to deal with. So it means we can still we can prevent them paralleling us too much, and still get away with being able to knock them out in a turn, which I think is really good. The fact that Xerneas can knock out a Ray in a turn, I think is insane, even without Skyfield. So I think that I really like this deck. Moving on to the tools, got 2 EXP share. It means that we can stream attackers so much easier. We keep 1 energy on board pretty much all the time, meaning that we're only ever looking for DCEs. Along with the Max Elixirs as well, we can set up a Xerneas in a turn. If we get 1 from EXP share from a Xerneas being knocked out, 1 from Max Elixir, we can then just attach manually, or if we find the DCE we don't even need the Max Elixir. So having access to more energy, or preventing our opponent from getting rid of our energy completely, is really good, I think. I think EXP share is a really good tool in this format actually, and I think there's a lot of decks that will at least try it out and use it as some form of energy acceleration. Finally, we've got 2 Floatstone. Obviously Volcanion has a chunky 3 retreat, but a lot of our targets we don't want in the active. Flygon we want in the active, but we don't want him in the active all the time. We just want to throw him up after a knockout. Hoopa's got 2 retreat, so anything that has basically more than 1 retreat that we can't manually retreat with quickly is a Floatstone target. Along with the Switch and the Ninja Boy, we do have lots of switching options, so it's not too much of an issue that we've only got 2 Floatstone, especially in a format with a lot of Giratina. I think we've still got options against Giratina anyway. Oh, and I've just been logged out. Okay, let's log back in. The last 2 cards were indeed 4 DCE and 8 energy. We're only running 8 energy simply because we don't have the space to run much more. I would love more energy just because it's a deck that I think really enjoys having more energy. The more energy it's got, the quicker this deck sets up. But that's the case with any deck. But more than anything, simply because more energy means Max Elixir is so much more successful. We could probably go up to 4 if we ran some more. But unfortunately, it's kind of a space thing. The 4DC obviously also helps us set up quickly. The only card that I haven't mentioned here is Hex-Maniac. We chose to go for a more aggressive build over a more defensive sort of Hex-Maniac Ranger build, where you're getting around sort of these things that could potentially be issues. We've gone for a more aggressive build, going with more speed cards, a second Lysandre, things like that. Hex is definitely a consideration, but I think it's just personal preference that we went for like a 4th Trainer's Mail or something like that over the Hex. So I am going to jump into some games. Of course, we can't use Ninja Boy at the moment because unfortunately they still haven't fixed the fact that Ninja Boy was in the set over a month ago now. Come on, Pokemon. So I'm just going to put in a 3rd Skyfield for now. Could potentially put in a 4th Elixir or another energy, but I think a 3rd Skyfield is probably fine. Is there anything else that I could put in? No, let's go with this. Save, and let's hop onto the ladder. Where's the ladder? There's the ladder. New versus ladder available. Oh boy. What have we got this month? Or these 3 weeks? Looks like it's Rayquaza and Winona. Okay, so I would try for these Pokemon guys. Rayquaza's really good at the moment, I think. So definitely see if you can get yourself some Pokebeard. We are indeed up against Pokebeard. We're going to go Tails, of course. And we do indeed lose the coin flip. Sadness. Okay, starting Joltik's fine. I think I'm going to hold the Umbreon for now. I don't think I saw Dragon types in his little preview. What am I discarding? I think I'm going to hold the Umbreon just for discard fodder. Okay, there's a Psychic Energy. Could be Latios. We could be Latios donked. Oh boy. We will draw another card just for discard fodder. We do have a Shaymin now. Oh, scared of the Latios donk. Oh boy. Okay, we're fine. Looks like we're playing against Mewtwo. Mewtwo's an interesting one. We do have the damage to knock it out in a turn. Okay, only 3 benched. That's a pain, but hey ho. We do have the energy the damage to be able to knock out a Mega Mewtwo in a turn, meaning that it can't damage change to us. But we do need a full bench to do so, and 3 is not a full bench. I think I'm going to Ultra Ball. Oh, I want to keep the Galvantula for now. I think the N goes, I think probably the Umbreon goes. No, let's get rid of the Galvantula. We can get it back with Super Rod later. And I'm going to be grabbing a Xerneas. Okay, our other Galvantula is prized, so maybe shouldn't have done that, but hey ho. 7 energy. Super Rod is in here. 2 DC prized, that's sad. Okay. Done. Let's drop this down. Let's attach this. I think I'm going to bench the Umbreon just for an extra card with Shaymin. Did get a Skyfield, that's exactly what I wanted. Okay, so now we can go and discard those two, grab ourselves a Hoopa. Uh, 170. Okay, so we need 6 Pokemon on the bench, 6 types on the bench. We will search for 3 Pokemon-EX. Let's get our Flygon, boys. Let's get our Flygon tech. One, two, three, 4, 5, 6, 7. So yeah, we'll have enough. Now, do I Max Elixir before I Shaymin? I think I do. That could be incorrect ordering. Oh, it was incorrect ordering though. It looked like we weren't going to have a very good Shaymin anyway. Oh no, that orders it in Pokemon, doesn't it? So maybe we will. If we can get a DCE and a Max Elixir, we can actually knock out this Mewtwo in a turn. Oh boy, there's an energy. I don't want to attach an energy like this though. Let's take an EXP. Do we want an EXP share? I don't think we do, because there's no good targets. I suppose there's... Yeah, I suppose there's Joltik. Yeah, okay, let's attach the EXP share to Joltik. Just so maybe we can knock out this Shaymin later on. Oh, that's sadness. Could take Super Rod. I don't think there's any other good targets in here though. No, I don't think it's worth taking Super Rod here. I think we're better off. We could N as well. Do I want to N or do I want to Sycamore? If I Sycamore, we're down to 5 energy in the discard already. 5 energy in the deck already. But I think we've got to be greedy and try and take out this Mewtwo. Okay, let's be greedy. Let's be greedy. Let's take nothing. And let's Sycamore away 2 energy. Greedy. This could be too greedy. Oh no. Oh no. Do have the Super Rod to get the energy back, which is good. Hopefully we can get a Max Elixir here. Oh, sadness. Okay. Don't really need anything, so let's grab an Ultra Ball. Ultra Ball. Trying to think what we want Ultra Ball here. Let's Ultra Ball, I think probably the Ultra Ball itself. And a VS Seeker. Grab ourselves a Xerneas. I think this is what we want to promote. Let's attach here, free retreat. Do we want to shuffle these cards in yet? I think we do. Just there's more Max Elixir targets if we manage to get one. Maybe we should have attached here instead. I think that's fine. I don't mind him knocking out this Xerneas because it can go here or here, probably here. Then we can DCE and knock out the Mewtwo next turn. Floatstone and Sycamore. Running Zoroark as well, okay. There's a DCE. Is he Mega Evolving? Mega Evolve gets the knockout. There's a Hoopa, so he's probably going to be Mega Evolving. If he is, we can return the knockout. Let's get rid of Shaymin. And I think a Hoopa. So we'll have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I think these two probably. So now we need to find our Galvantula to be able to get the knockout, which is fine. Scoundrel ring. So this. Oh no, I suppose he has a Shaymin actually. Yeah, okay, so he's going Mewtwo Shaymin. Oh, maybe he has the. Okay, he doesn't have the Spirit Link yet. So maybe not going. Maybe he doesn't have the Spirit Link. If he doesn't, we don't even need to find Galvantula or Skyfield this turn. We can just knock out. Okay, there's the Skylar. Oh no, he's used to support this turn, hasn't he? Okay. Evolving to turn. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 is 180, 190. Okay, at the moment we're doing 190, which is not good numbers. How many Ultra Balls have we been through? All 4 of them, I thought so. So we need to draw this Galvantula. Which means I think we have to Sycamore over him. Oh boy, we got Skyfield and Jirachi instead. We're in this. So we're doing 10, 40, 70, 100, 130, 160, 190, 220, and Mewtwo has 210. I'm going to go for another Max Elixir if possible. We do indeed get one. So switch could be fun. What does he switch into if he knocks us out? What I'm thinking, if he knocks us out, we promote Flygon and then switch. But then how are we getting the energy? Oh no, okay. Let's try this. Let's try taking the switch. And go for a Rainbow Force. That's why we're running the Skyfields. We don't always need them to knock out Megas, but if we can't find our dual types... and he does concede. If we can't find our dual types, it is important to be able to still access these Mega knockouts. Where are my other 2 standard decks? They should be here. 25 trainer coins, or what are they called? Trainer tokens. So we'll get another game, hopefully a full one. The plan was that turn, or the next turn, if he knocked us out, we could have promoted Flygon, used Flygon's ability to bring up either a Shaymin or a Hoopa. He probably would have promoted that Shaymin with the Free Retreat actually, but then that's an easier knockout for us. So that's what the Flygon's in here for. A full water deck. Okay. Is that a world's coin? I think it's a world's coin. We won the coin flip. We will go first. Starting Flygon with Floatstone's really good. Oh, so happy starting Flygon. Okay, so it looks like just a turbo water deck maybe. Fury Belts, Elixirs. Okay. Hopefully he benches 2 things. If he benches 2 things, that's exciting. Oh, he does! He does! What if this isn't something he wants in the active? That's very exciting. Don't have a supporter at the moment. Do have a Hoopa though. Glaceon, Manaphy. Okay. Oh, and we got a supporter as well. Sweet. Wonder if he's looking at the card. Wonder if he's wondering what on earth we're doing here with a Flygon. I don't even think Shaymin's getting that much worth here. Maybe I don't get the Shaymin. We're at a hand of 7, 6. Maybe I don't get the Shaymin and just go for the N instead. Is that crazy? Tell me down in the comments. Is that crazy? We're gonna have a hand of 7, 6 attaching the float stone. No, we're gonna have a hand of 8, a hand of 7 attaching the float stone. And I don't want to waste elixirs just to try and get more cards. So I think we're better off just taking 2 and going for N. That could be crazy, that could be wrong, that definitely could be wrong. Someone's probably shouting at me in the comments. If you are, I'm sorry. Let's use Voice of the Sands though, doesn't matter because we got to use Voice of the Sands. Let's go for N. See, now we're better off Ultra Balling, I think. And now we're better off getting Shaymin, I think. I think we can discard this. In fact, do we just want to get Shaymin straight away? Or do we want to get... No, I think we actually want to get a Xerneas and start powering up a Xerneas. Which means I probably could have gone for... Oh, we got an Ultra Ball. Okay, so next turn... Oh, do we discard this for a Shaymin? No, okay. Let's not go too crazy. I perhaps shouldn't have taken that Ultra Ball thinking about it, but oh well. I think Flygon's fine in the active. It's very rare that they do 170, I think, turn 1. Float stone of his own, okay. An escape rope of his own, sorry, okay. So that's an escape rope gone at least. Trainer's Mail. For Fury Belt. These things are always two-shotting us. Oh boy. Articuno with 160. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, so we need one more Pokemon next turn. Oh, he's got 2 energy. Oh boy. Tri-Edge. Going for an N. So we weren't punished for taking that Ultra Ball. That's not a good way of thinking. That's a Rough Seas. I don't think Rough Seas is ever going to be useful because I think we're always going to be one-shotting. I'd love to get a Lysandre. Love to get a Lysandre. This could be it. If we can get a Lysandre here. Oh, we do get a... is there anything we want to attach to it though? Yeah, because I'm going to switch here. Okay, so let's take this. Let's use the switch. Oh, unfortunately we get nothing. Okay. So we're attaching here. At the moment we're not knocking out this Glaceon. But we are knocking out Articuno or Manaphy. So I think we're going to use this ability. I think we're also going to... Do we bounce the stadium? I don't think a stadium is going to be useful, so maybe we hold the stadium for later. Oh, we do have a Sycamore. I didn't realise we had a Sycamore. Okay, let's actually take the Sycamore. Let's bounce the stadium. And let's Sycamore. Maybe I shouldn't have done that. We're not really digging for an... I suppose we are digging for an attacker. Yeah. Yeah. We bench it all in Shaymin. I think we bench it all in Shaymin. EXP share would be great. Another floatstone is pretty good. Means that Volcanion is no longer a Lysandre target, and when he gets rid of Skyfield, nor is Hoopa. Yeah, let's bench it all on Shaymin. What's in the discard? Just 2 energy, okay. I think we hold the Super Rod for now, in case he knocks us out next turn. That's what I wanted. I've got an EXP share. Let's go for... Oh, we do get the energy as well, meaning that we're only... I'm actually going to attach it here, because then when this gets knocked out, this gets one from the EXP share anyway. And we've got the DC to power that up next turn, so I'm actually going to attach it to the Joltik here. Let's use Voice of the Sands. I don't mind at all what he promotes. We're either getting 2 prizes or taking out his attacker. Okay, so we're getting 2 prizes here. I don't mind if he takes 2 prizes on this Xerneas, because next turn we can respond. 280 damage. And there's a Galvantula, and there's another Xerneas. Sweet. So as you can see, this deck can do serious amounts of damage. That was our second turn. Third turn of the game, second turn, 280. There's another Manaphy. He does indeed have the energy to try and Tri-Edge. He needs 3 heads to do to get a knockout here, I believe. I think that's how the maths works. Whoops, that's an N. +20 +40, yeah. So he needs all 3 heads. Goes for an N, okay. Still get the Lysandre. Dive ball for a Palkia-EX. Interesting. There's 1 tails, there's 2 tails, there's 1 head, so he's doing 50. 70, sorry. Why 70? Oh yeah, 60 +10, sorry. I thought it was 20 +20 +10. Right, okay. Could Lysandre here and apply more pressure. And then Sycamore next turn. Although I think we're better off just taking out this attacker. Because how does he continue to respond next turn? I think we're fine actually just taking the knockout here. Don't really do anything else. Could, like Lysandre something, can apply pressure and take 2 more prizes, but then we're very N weak. We go down to 2 N. This definitely dies. We need to find a DC off that N. Plus, theoretically, I guess I'd Lysandre. So off 3 cards, we need DC Lysandre. Shoving 3 more energy in. There's another Regice, which means that we can't have any more fun with Flygon for now. Goes to the Sycamore. And does indeed scoop. Xerneas is powerful. Okay, we'll get 1 more game. Oh boy. I've got 20. How do I get 20? I've got an uncommon chest as well. I'll open that at the end of the video. Oh, there's my other decks. Ray and Sizzle. 1 last game against Psychic and Colourless, so probably Mewtwo. We do win the coin flip, so we will go first. Probably Mewtwo. Oh, look at all these Pokemon. I'm going to start Joltik. Really nice hand actually. Got lots of options in that we've got Hoopa. We're going first, so we don't need to promote anything else for now until we see what we're playing against. There's a Trubbish, okay. Right. First things first, let's grab a Hoopa. And let's do that. Unless we want this. No, if he's playing Trubbish, we can't always rely on that. So let's grab these three. Let's fill our bench. This, I think the EXP share is probably going to go here. This energy is going to go here. Then we can Ultra Ball those two away, though we don't really need to. Because what are we Ultra Balling for? Ultra Ball for more cards, but we don't have a supporter at the moment, so maybe we should just Ultra Ball them for no target. Ultra Balling gets us 6 cards, without gets us 3. I'm going to Ultra Ball just so we can kind of guarantee getting a, well, not guarantee, but have a much better chance of getting a supporter. Okay. For DC. 5, 6, 2 energy priced, okay. Shaymin for 6. There's a Skyfield, and there's a supporter. I think I'm going to free retreat into this Xerneas and pass. I'm not going to get rid of this Galvantula because it could be useful if he's playing. Well, he will be playing Shaymins, I imagine. Not necessarily Mewtwo yet, we still don't know what it is. Psychic Energy makes me think it is Mewtwo. That's a Hoopa, so we'll be finding out soon. Scoundrel Ring. It is indeed Hoopa. Photon Wave. Ooh, okay. Red Mewtwo and Blue Mewtwo. That's a Spirit Link. Is that DCE? Was that DCE? Yeah, it was. That one's got 180, isn't it? Okay, they've both got 170. 180 and 170 is the same, essentially, for this deck. There goes one of our types. Probably the Joltik, if I'm honest. Oh no, we're getting rid of 2, aren't we? So Hoopa goes. Joltik goes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 7, 110, 120, 210, 220. So we're doing 220 if we can find a DC next turn. Oh, I guess the N. Oh, where are DCEs? I don't want to discard these energy. There's another Spirit Link. There's a Trainer's Mail. Oh, do not want to discard these energy. There's a Ranger. DCE, DCE. Oh, that's not a DCE. Okay. Okay, let's evolve. Let's attach a Float Stone. Let's go for a Skyfield. I've got a plan. Might as well bench the Jirachi for damage. Elixir. Oh, we didn't get a switch. That's sad. Okay. Okay, we can Elixir anyway. Oh, we do get it. We got the DC as well, but I wasn't happy discarding 2 energy. You can actually knock us out next turn, so maybe I shouldn't have attached there. Oh well. What else do we need? I didn't see whether our second Shaymin was prized. Misplays for days. Let's have a look. I don't think we need the second Volcanion. Our second Shaymin is prized. Do we want a Flygon or a Xerneas? When he inevitably gets rid of Skyfield, we get rid of this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We need one other type. Okay. I don't think I get anything here actually. That's fine. No point in retreating. I think if this thing goes down, it goes down. We can respond KO next turn. The joys of running a non-EX deck. You can still trade blow for blow. So he's looking for a Mega here. I feel like it's an insta-play card, so maybe he didn't get it. There's an Acro. Acros are interesting. There's an Ultra Ball, so he does have the Mega. Discard a DCE to get the Mega. Ooh. Maybe running Special Charge or something to get it back. I think he discarded DC. He did. Okay, so we've definitely got the knockout next turn. Attach another energy as well. Did he need to? I don't think he needed to. There's a Garb. The Psychic Infinite. 30, 60, 90, 120, 150, 210. Wait. 30, 60, 90, 120, 150, 180, 210, 220. Okay. So we're getting the knockout. No backup attacker though. I think I'm just going to end here. Should I play that? Maybe not. Maybe I do Sycamore here, but even so I don't want to use those, so let's just Sycamore. 24 cards in deck, that's fine. So ideally here we need a Xerneas. That's not a Xerneas. What we should put him back into the deck? 2 energy and a Xerneas? Very worried about him knocking us out next turn. Very worried. All he needs is a DCE and a Mega. Doesn't have access to Shaymin though. Yeah, let's shuffle those dudes back in. Could bench this just as discard fodder. because I'd rather discard this. Mind you, there's nothing else to discard. Okay, I think we just Rainbow Force here. Take our 2 prizes. Ultra Ball Energy, that's not bad. Only on 3-1 Elixir as well. Does indeed play Special Charge, thought so. Sycamore maybe? What do we want to get rid of? Probably this. Probably this, because this can get value. So we're still doing 160. So we're still knocking out that Shaymin. Still knocking out Galvantula. Goes for N. That's fine. Have we got how many stadiums? Okay, we've still got 1 stadium. Oh, we get the stadium. And we get Energy Elixir. Oh boy. This Galvantula is going to have 2 energy on it in a minute. Whoops. Oh, bring up your Mewtwo. No, don't. Because we can't knock it out unless we get another Pokemon. There's an Acro. That was a quick card. He got that card quick. Okay, just. Okay, let's go. Get rid of that. Do get an energy. Really nice. Let's attack 1 per turn. Rainbow Force. 190. Okay, we're doing 190. Nice. There's a Trainer's Mail. If he plays a second parallel, then we're well, we're not in a good spot. There's a DCE and there's an N. Okay. So he's really digging for this Mega now. Do get an energy, so we do have a knockout next turn, probably. If we can get a Lysandre off of these 2. Oof, that's not a Lysandre. I'm going to take it just to increase our odds of getting a Lysandre. I think there's one in the discard, could be wrong. Yeah, there is. Yeah boy, got ourselves a Lysandre. Come here. Come here, Mewtwo. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 180, 190. Does indeed scoop. So, Rainbow Force can do some damage. I really like it, and definitely recommend you guys try it. Yeah, Bishop's the main thing that we haven't got in here at the moment. If you want to give that a try. We ran a 2-2, but weren't personally enjoying it. But we've got an uncommon chest to open to finish the. Oh, we got a Pelipper. But other than that, thank you very much for watching. I've been Jack from Omnipoke. Really give this deck a try. Really fun. And yeah, thank you very much for watching, and I look forward to seeing you in another video.